discuss the most profitable careers out there in finance. So when people want to say, hey, I want to get into finance, what do they mean? I mean, finance is, first of all, it's a mile wide and a mile deep. So there's a million different industries. Well, I don't want to say industry because it's one industry, but there's a million different pieces of it, and you could go 100 miles deep on it. I mean, there's stuff ranging from like SPACs to alternative investments to DPPs to mutual funds to SMAs to everything under the sun. In essence, though, a couple of areas really stand out. One of them is going to be like, they consider it one area. They consider put it in one bucket. I would kind of separate it: sales and trading. So, as a salesperson, theoretically, you can make an infinite amount of money because your compensation is going to be based on commission. So the more you sell, theoretically, the more money you can make. And if you're selling, obviously, funds that have, and you're raising tens of millions, $100 million, your income can reflect that. Additionally, if you're trading, same thing. There's no limitation. I mean, if you look at some of the biggest trades ever made, you think about, like George Soros when he broke the Bank of England. You think of all I think it was Paulson who made money during 2008. I mean, there was a bunch of people who made money during 2008. So you have that of course. Then you have equity research, which is essentially just writing research reports on companies, which makes sense. So if you have more of like the analytical style and you're a fan of writing, then equity research might be the right thing for you, right? And obviously, there's opportunity to make a lot of money there because that information can be very valuable and very timely. So if you're more of a people type person, maybe the sales side would make sense, and the trading, if you're more of a I'm trying to think about a trader. I mean, I think it's more of like someone who has sort of like a gamer mindset, but they're willing to take a lot of risk and they can handle the pressure. And then you have the investment banking route, which on the lower levels is kind of a lot of just Excel sheets and stuff like that. But on the higher levels, it's really very sales oriented, right? It's going to be technical type sales because you have to understand all this stuff like, all of the financial statements and EBITDA and stuff like that, and discounted cash flow and leverage buyouts, all that kind of stuff. And the IBPE route, I consider that really one route. And a lot of investment banking people end up going to private equity after or venture capital. So really, I would kind of and I also consider like the asset management route as kind of a sales route. So you look at an advisor, obviously the more assets they have under management, if they're charging a 1% AUM fee and they have $1 billion under management, right, that's $10 million a year. So it's, I would really say those are kind of the big areas where people make a lot of money. And I mean, you could say, look, if there's always opportunities. I mean, look, if you're a really good risk person, you could define a risk model that really saves traders. Then, of course, that could be a lot of money in that regard too. So, but I would say really the big areas are like the sales and trading area, which sales and asset management, I feel like are kind of pretty similar. Then you have like the investment banking and the equity research bucket. So those are really kind of the main ones. And depending on what kind of person you are, maybe you fit into one of those. So I hope this is helpful. Please like and subscribe, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.